Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel MultiVerse Studio. I am Baba and in this video I am going to show how you can create your very own HUD, that means heads up display VFX using Adobe After Effects. So let's jump in. So let's create the HUD effect. Let me just make a new composition and let it be 6 seconds, 1920 by 1080, and let me just decrease the FPS to 30. So here we have. Now click on the layer and make a new solid, make it comp size. Go in the layer new and make a shape layer, because we are going to use lots of shape layer in this project. So let me just select this title shape action here and select this one, rectangle tool, to make a rectangular shape over here. It will be our bracket. Okay, so like this, but we need to click on the fill and select no fill. Okay, so it will be remain the borders and there will be no fill. Rename it to border and let me just animate this border. Okay, so to do that, click on the add button over here and go to trim paths. Okay, and go inside the trim paths, select the start and offset and everything. In the beginning of the clip, go like 20 frame, 1.20 frame, and increase the start. And now we need to replace this. So the beginning of it will be 100 and later on it will decrease to 0 to make this animation. So in the HUD, to make it interesting, you have to start certain thing, then after that when it completes, then start another process. That's how it looks so beautiful. So for that I have created this one. Let me just show you, and I can also change the offset like this, like any random value. So it will look something like this, 248 or so. So it looks something like this, which is pretty cool. So now when the animation of this border completes, I'm going to go to the layer new and make another shape layer. Now this time I'm going to draw a rectangle here. Okay, like this. Perfect. Now I'm going to select the stroke and select no stroke. I'm not going to use any stroke, but I'm going to use a fill. Okay, or let it be red. Red will be good. Okay, so it will become our meter. Now let me just lock these layers and go inside this one, name it to bar, and go to the add, and now we need to like repeater. Okay, so as you can see, the repetition is going on the right hand side. We don't need that. We need the repetition to go above it. So for that, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Make the positional value of x-axis to 0 like this, and increase the copies like 29 will be good. Now you can see nothing. Click this one to keyframe the positional value on this frame where this value ends. And now let me go further in time, like 2 seconds or maybe 4 seconds or maybe 5 seconds. Okay, and let me just increase it to minus values. Make sure that it's not cutting the border. Okay, perfect. Minus 25. So this is the base value. So now what we need to do is we need to animate it like increasing and decreasing. We are working only on the y-axis, so that's why you need to manually adjust this like this. And there are multiple things you can also try to make, like you can use expressions, but I'm going to make this tutorial very simple so that if you don't know how to work in Adobe After Effects, you can still make animations on it. You can do random values here. Just don't let the values in the plus side, because if you do that it will go downwards, and if you use minus values it will come upwards. Okay, now as you can see, it's going pretty much good. Now at the end of the frame I will make it 0 so that it stops there. Okay, now we will select all the keyframes here, right click on it or press F9 on the keyboard to ease them. Perfect. So this is what we have made so far. Now it's incomplete if you are not writing anything that what is supposed to do. So for that, let me just bring the text tool and type here FUEL fuel status. Okay, you can choose any font. I choose Unisant font. Now I need to adjust it like this. The base part is ready. Now what we need to do is we need to duplicate these bars. Press P on the keyboard to bring up the position values like this, and let's press S on the keyboard to bring up the scale. Now if I increase or decrease this one, it will impact everything, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to deselect this scale thing and decrease the value of the x-axis. Okay, very good. Now let me make it 20%, And again I'm going to press R. I'm going to press R on the keyboard to bring the rotational value and press 90 degrees. Okay, perfect. By pressing P on the positional value and manually adjusting it to something like this. Okay, perfect. So it should look something like this now. And also I'm going to use another thing which is going to be pretty cool, that it starts go inside the contents in the repeater. Okay, inside transform repeater 1, I will select the end value and end opacity to 100, and at the end it should be like 9 or 10, maybe 10. So it looks something like this. Okay, now I need to change the color, and I will change the color to like this color. You can also use gradient. Let me just use a gradient value. Let me just select a gradient value, and from the content in the rectangle, select the gradient fill, make it let it be linear. Okay, and edit gradient field. Now select the color is like a red, and the end color will be white. Okay, and that's not all. We need to adjust these values, and start point will be just do some manual adjustment over here to make it should look something like this. Okay, perfect. So this is exactly what I wanted. Okay, now I'm going to decrease this a bit by pressing S on the keyboard, and let me make it like 10. Okay, and again I'm going to use the position value to make it above here. Place this thing above here, and also going to place S and just make it smaller, like 50. Okay, so I am going to use shortcut key multiple times, and I would also recommend you to use shortcut keys. It will make your timeline and work very fast. Okay, so that's it. It's done. Draw a circle. As you can see, it's already selected the fill, so we need to unfill it, and we need to make the stroke with normal color, and let it be the pixel of the scale is like 26. Okay, that's not all. What we need to do is press P on the keyboard and just make it few more adjustment, like it should come like this. Okay, from 1/10 second it should show the values. Like now we need to animate this and go to the add option. Just click this drop down menu. Okay, click the add this drop down option here and create another trim paths. Now this time we will do individual, and offset will be like 100. Okay, or you can also animate it. Let me just animate it for you, and let me just bring it to 100 so that it has nothing on the start, and on the second frame of our time of our animation, let me just increase it to 100, and let me just decrease this value to 0. So it should look something like this now. Okay, but it's not looking good. So what we need to do is we'll go at the end of the frame and increase the values like this, and also going to select random values over here. It's like 4 times plus 161 degree. So it looks something like this now. Pretty cool. Now duplicate this circle layer. Let me just rename it circle 1. This will be circle 2. Okay, so let me just lock these layers for now. In the trim paths, we're going to change the values, like this one. Delete the value, press S on the keyboard and make it smaller like this. Okay, also you can bring it downward like this. You can place it anywhere you want. It should look something like this. We want a full circle here, and for that I'm going to make all the keyframes to 0. Make the end keyframe to 0 in the 3rd second. Let me just bring it to 20%. On the 4th second, maybe 5th second, it will be like 50%, and on the end it will be like 0. Now if I just animate this to like some random values, 4 times or 6 times. Okay, make the keyframe over here again, make these values to 0. So this is very important to do this, because in a HUD, that means heads up display, there are multiple objects which makes it looks very cool. And let me colorize this one, ellipse. Go to the stroke, change the color to something brighter color like this. Yeah, and it should look something like this now. Okay, you can duplicate it multiple times. Okay, press P on the keyboard and change the position to something like this. You can also rotate it like 180 degree. Again, press P on the keyboard and bring this value to something like this. Now it looks something like this. Looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to change the color again, stroke, and let it be pink color. Okay, again I'm going to duplicate this and press R on the keyboard and make it 0. Again press P. Now I'm going to change the color like yellow. You can choose any color, depends on your choice. Now we have something like this. Okay, so we need more bars and we need more text over here to determine what's going on. Uncheck this lock, duplicate it by pressing Ctrl plus D. Press P on the keyboard to bring the text over here and just like this. And let me just type here. Let me just press this one to type it. Scanning. Okay, so it's every HUD should scan. Okay, so yes, let me cut this. And now I'm going to animate the scanning part. I'm going to click character offset. Okay, so it will bring me this option. Now I'm going to click this option here where it says character offset 0 value, and I will place this 0 value to like in third second, and in this part I'm going to make it this to like 226. Okay, so it should look something like this. So I'm gonna make this value to like 2 seconds, and it should like okay, perfect. Again like few more, and now finally this value on the here scanning. Okay, so now what I have to do is I'm going to duplicate the I'm going to duplicate this bars 2 to bars 3 and place it over here. Also going to place this here from here maybe. Okay, change the position to something like this. And let me just bring this bar to under the scanning. Okay, so it should look something like this. Now I'm going to change the color of this bars 4 in the previous way. I'm not going to use the gradient fill over here. I'm going to use the stroke, and the stroke color will be like yellow. Okay, and I'm going to use certain other things like stroke width. Reduce the stroke width to like 5, and in the joint line cap I'm gonna use projection cap, and in the miller and I will use bevel joint. In the dashes I will like I have put in 33, and offset will be like 21. So it looks something like this now. Okay, looks pretty cool. It completely changes what we have created from. Okay, so it's halfway we have done it, and I'm going to duplicate again this one bars. You don't need to do everything every time in Adobe After Effects. You can create once and use random values to create certain things. Okay, select the scale, increase it to like 50. Press R, just rotate it to 180 degree. Press P to just change the position from this to this. R again to make it this value like 370 maybe. Okay, and position it somewhere here. Also change the color and few more values like the type of it. Okay, so in the stroke let me just click the color to like orange, maybe green. Yeah, look, click the brighter colors. Stroke width will be like 5, opacity will be like 70 or 60, maybe 72. Butt cap and rounded joints in the dashes. I'm not going to use the dashes. Okay, let me just use the dashes to increase the dash size to 16. Dash gap will be like this 70. Offset will be like yeah, I'm gonna animate this offset position to from minus 261 to end will be much higher, from 266 or maybe 300. Okay, perfect. And also going to increase the size this time by putting S. Let me just join the size values from X and Y and make it 100 and push it upwards. Push it upwards like this, and maybe place it here. It should look something like this. Okay, pretty cool. Again, I'm going to select the fuel status, duplicate it, place it above here, and press P on the keyboard and just bring it here. FIEL field. It can be anything. Let me cut it over in the 3rd second, and its field status will come like grouping government, and it can actually place it here. Okay, so it looks something like this. Nothing gonna happen because not selected anything. Let's do luminosity, and let me just go here and go to the transformation and select the opacity value to 100% at this frame and decrease the transformation opacity value. So it looks something like this. Status field, and again I'm gonna duplicate this bar and rotate it to like 90 degree. Okay, place this thing above everything. Position and like this. Okay, again I'm going to change the color and change more settings. To like white, maybe blue, this blue, maybe this blue. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to change the opacity to 100 like this, and change the dash size to like this. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, now let me just click R on the keyboard and rotate this thing to 0 and bring it here like this. Okay, pretty good, like this. And now we need to draw something. Okay, like this. Again, let me just bring it downwards a little bit. and bring this, and let me just wait. Okay, so I push this one to when the field status start, it will show something like this. And again, let me just duplicate this one and place it here. Change everything to make it looks like a bar again. From where is it? Where is it? Stroke. Let me just create a wider stroke now, maybe like this. Rounded caps, joint mirror things, limit like milter limit will be 1, and there will be no dashes. Okay. No, there might be we need a dash. Offset, let me just. Okay, perfect. Oh, we don't need that. Okay, let it be clean one. Okay, now let me just double click and make this bar another copy of this bar, duplicating this bar. Okay, give the position values and change it to this position like this, and change the color, because in a HUD there must be multiple content doing multiple things at different speeds. That's how a HUD looks beautiful, you know. This is how you can make the HUD look so beautiful. You can add, it's very time consuming, so you can add multiple more things like that. You can add many things to make it more beautiful looking. You just change the fill color to like yellow maybe. Okay, it should be bright colors. Okay, opacity will be like maybe this. Okay. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete, bring these values to, it should start from the 4th second. Okay. Press T1, press U on the keyboard to compile everything. Or maybe like this. Okay. And press U to end the animation at the end of the frame. Okay. Let's bring it and make it 0. Also, we're going to make this 1 to 0, bar to be end at from -18 to 0. Also, this one, where is it? Which one is it? Bar 6, this one. Okay. So, from repeaters to, yeah, something like this. Something like this one. From 29 to, okay, make it like 0 at this position. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so now everything is completed. Now I'm going to use deselect this locking things here, and here at the second frame I'm going to draw another shape layer from layer, new, and shape. Where is it? Shape layer. And I'm going to draw a rounded rectangle and select from selecting this part. Okay, perfect. And let me just decrease this to certain like 11. Okay. Now I'm also going to add trim paths over here and rounded corners. In the rounded corner, change the radius to like 113. Go to the trim path and just animate it with any random values. So start from here, make it 0 like this. It will start and it will go from like, you can choose any values. I'm just using random values, and at the end it should stop completely. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, now select everything. Okay, and pre-compose it. Say equality 3, and I'm going to use a normal plugin, just native plugin like Glow. Okay, and not going to use any animated or anything paid, any paid plugins over here. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use only the native plugins so that you can also do it. I'm not going to use any paid plugins. And let me just increase the radius to like 48 and decrease the threshold to like 29 seconds. Increase glow intensity to 1.4 and composite from on the top. Okay, so it looks something like this. You can actually let it be, or you can do certain more things that I'm going to show you here. Cut this and type CC LEN lens. So I'm going to use a CC lens from Distort, which is a native tool, and in the first 0.10th frame, select the value to like this. Okay, 140 like this, 141, and go in the first frame, make it 0. So it should look something like this. And in the first frame, increase the size further to bring everything on the screen. Now, as you can see, it creates certain like things like this one. Okay, a curve. You can also decrease the values, like say to make this curve looks more curvy, like this. Press the U and bring this value over here by decreasing the convergency. Also make a keyframe on the convergency at the second frame and bring this value to like, lower the value to like -84 to make a curvy out. Okay, now in this 5th second, select everything, select the lens and select all the key values from here so that it locks in this position, and go further in time and just make it look something like this. Make it 100 and decrease these values. Like make this value to this point, and at the end of the frame make it 0. So it starts and ends pretty awesomely. So now I'm going to select all the keyframes and select this keyframe assistance and easy ease in. So now our animation is totally ready, and we need to create alpha channel for this. So for that, let me just click here, lossless, click on the format, make it QuickTime. Now here in the video output, you see the channel. It's already RGB, but we need RGB plus alpha. That means the effect you are creating will be in color, but the background will be alpha. That means transparent. Okay, millions of colors, let it be. Don't change anything over here and click OK. Turn the caps lock on your keyboard and hit render. So this is what I have created so far. So here we have it. I hope you learned something new from this VFX tutorial. And if you do, please drop a like. It really motivates me to make more videos for you guys. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe by clicking this button. It's absolutely free, and also click the notification so that you will never miss any VFX videos and VFX tutorials from my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.